Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. A backup singer.
Ooh, singer.
When you have the Farmers Signal app with Crash Assist.
Crash Assist.
If you have an auto accident.
We can send help if you want it.
Wow, that sounds like a whole lot of something. Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies, subject to terms and conditions, underwritten by Farmers Trucker Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
This month, on the 11th, Pineapple Street Studios presents The Beige Room, a 3-part series about a notorious self-help seminar. Host and filmmaker Kelly Loudenberg asks why millions of people are flocking to spend their weekends in beige hotel ballrooms, divulging their deepest secrets with hundreds of strangers. Supporters say that what takes years of therapy to do, this program can do in a weekend. But how? And what are the consequences? That's this month on the 11th. Just search for the 11th now, wherever you get your podcasts.
What a night it was, Ron. I can't think of a multi-sport, feel-good night like this one in a while around here. Every time you looked at the television, some team was on the precipice but surviving and winning a big game. And then, like I said, a little nightcap at the end of the night. Little drink before bed.
That might be the biggest story in town today, as the Steelers try to win the division. And, man, that was a helpful win for Miami last night over Baltimore, which just looked terrible. Terrible. I mean, I don't get it with them. I don't know what's up. Maybe you've been on them all along saying that some of their wins, 66-yard field goal to beat Detroit and a couple of their other ones. I mean, they barely get by Minnesota after getting killed by Cincinnati. And then lose like that to Miami last night. I saw John Harbaugh took total blame for it, said we weren't prepared to win, and that's on me. So, but Pitt getting a great overtime win, and how about the Penguins getting a shootout win? Not only got extra play, got 2 wins out of it.
And you were at the Penguin game. Did you have an enjoyable night with your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter Taylor loves hockey. We had such a good time. I mean, I have my best times are with her. I love her so much, and all we did was laugh and enjoy, and it was fun. And she said, Dad, I not only saw, she's so funny, we're walking in the car, she said, I not only saw a win, I saw a goal waved off. They waved off one of the terrific video work by the, what's it, Saucier?
Saucier?
Yeah.
Saucier,
He's
yes.
the MVP of the game last night.
Maybe of the last decade.
He never misses. He's never wrong. That's a gamble when you challenge something like that, because I think it's a penalty, right, if it's not true. And it worked out great for them. And
they should raise whatever shirt he wears to work to the rafters.
They should, and they should give him a big raise too. But both of us really enjoyed the Horny tribute. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
It just went on. Everybody stood, and it went on. And then he's waving, and he's doing the heart pump, and he starts to sit down, and it just gets louder and just goes on. I think people appreciate what he meant to that franchise, and they go, welcome back, 2-time Stanley Cup winner, Patrick Hornqvist. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
Now, when you're in the stands, Ron, I have a couple of questions for you. One, are you recognized? Do people say, Ron, how are you?
A little bit. You know who knows me the best? The ushers, for some reason. I think every usher called me by name last night.
That's cool.
It was fun, yeah. But people left me alone. It was fun.
And then when the Penguins do something, are you cheering? Or are you conspicuously not? You don't want to be seen as cheer guy?
I'm not doing anything. My daughter was up yelling. I was not, no.
She was up yelling, though?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
She's a fan. She's allowed to be.
Did you get rowdy at all? Try to pick fights with other fans?
No, but there was a guy behind me that was pretty obnoxious. He had commentary on everything.
Oh, commentary guy.
It was a commentary guy, and I told Taylor going home, I said, honey, I love this tonight, but I said, I don't think I could do this too many more times. I get used to where I sit, and it's spoiled. And I mean, the guy wasn't rude or obnoxious. Well, he was obnoxious, but not like in a vulgar way. He just kept talking about everything.
Right.
Every play.
Right, right. Horace, you could weigh in on this, and I hope you're well today. I'm assuming you are. I saw you before the show. You looked jovial. You looked happy. You looked. I
would hardly describe him as either of those now as I look at him.
Yeah, what's wrong? What happened between then and now? It's been 7 minutes and 4 seconds.
Everything's fine. Just focused.
All right. So Ron just raised a quick topic here. The worst kind of fan. You have running commentary guy. You have drunken idiot. You have meddling person, the person who wants to engage in conversation while the games are going on, right?
Yeah, I've been there with that.
What's the worst kind, Horse?
That's a tough one.
Isn't it? Running commentary guy is really bad. Oh, and chronic complainer guy, right? Who's constantly questioning everything that's going on in the game.
I actually would like to add one.
Yeah.
Mr. I have to get up every 10 seconds to go out and get a drink or go to the bathroom guy.
Right. Or Mrs.
Or
Mrs.,
Mr.
right?
Guy 2 rows behind you who spills beer that dribbles down into your feet.
That might be the drunken idiot. Yeah. I don't know which is worse. I think the meddling. The other stuff I can deal with. I can deal with somebody just acting like a jerk. What I don't want to do is talk about anything other than what I'm seeing on the ice or on the field, except with people that I'm with, right?
Right.
I don't want to. It's like being on an airplane and somebody wants to engage in small talk. I don't, Ron.
No,
do you?
No, I do not. I do not either. Nope. But it was fun. We had a blast. So a great game. It was a great hockey game, back and forth. A lot of great chances. The Penguins, I don't think, played real well in the second period, but they got it done. And what a great win for them. Shorthand. You really see it when you see the shootout, when there's no Crosby, there's no Malkin. I mean, Rust had a huge goal in the shootout.
Huge.
They lose if he doesn't score. But Jari, I was happy for him. He's taken some abuse, and he played a great game. He was a #1 star, deservedly so. Made some fabulous saves. Florida has some talent. I mean, that Barkov is really, really, really good. But it was a nice win, a nice night. And I guess you were flicking back and forth, or what were you doing? Had two
Yes,
TVs going on at once. But it's funny. Let me tell you, I was thinking about you. I'm checking my phone during the hockey game, and I see Pitt goes up 23-7 at halftime. I'm thinking they're going to blow this team out. And then I thought about something you said yesterday. They're going to be up like 28-3 and lose. And damned if they almost didn't blow that lead. They did blow it, and then they won.
I said that at one point. Then I said they're going to squander a giant lead completely and then come back and win at the end. But they won't cover. You picked them to cover, right?
They did. They did not. I took. They did cover. It was 6.5, and they won by 7.
What if Horny wins that game? I was flicking back and forth, and on the television, you don't know until he winds up, and they say, "Here, Patrick Hornquist of all people." Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to win it.
Yeah, he had a chance. I mean, he scores, they win the game. He scores, they win the game, and it would have been a great story. But I'll tell you what, I didn't notice him much in the game.
The only times I noticed him was in front of the net, especially on a couple of early power plays. He was doing what he does, and Jari stoned him.
I just didn't.
But even strength, not much.
I didn't notice him very much. He's only got 1 goal so far this year. I know he met the media yesterday morning and said they asked him about his season. He said, not very good. I haven't been very good.
Yeah.
Those guys are always critical of themselves. But the tribute was worthwhile to see, just to see Pittsburgh doesn't forget the people who perform for them. And it's not like he left for more money somewhere else. He got traded. He was pissed that he got traded,
Especially a guy like that people love. Like, he's tailor-made for this city. He's Ulf Samuelsson as a forward,
Put his body on the line every single night.
Love that guy. And can we put to bed then the ridiculous idea of bringing in Casey DeSmith after a full day of sitting on a bench to do the shootout?
I thought about that last night, too. We're sitting there waiting for the shootout, and Jari goes over and he gets a water bottle and he says something to DeSmith. That's just such a stupid idea to me.
It really is.
To me. And, Jari needed this, though. I'm not going to say that. He needed a strong one, and he was great the whole game. It would have been terrible if Horny would have scored, would have been a wonderful story. But Jari deserved better, and he got better.
Yep. And thanks to, of course, the other side is people will say, well, if Russ doesn't score that goal, they lose. But you know what? He stopped 3 of 4 shootout shots, and he earned it, and he's got some of the best numbers in the league right now. Does that mean I think that he should be trusted at playoff time? No, not necessarily. But it was going to be a huge story if he stunk out of the gates.
Right.
So why shouldn't it be a story that he's been really good? He's been really good.
Absolutely. And then I mentioned the Saucier. What a call. that puck was only about an inch.
Yeah.
It was clear.
Yeah,
it was clear.
The players knew. The players knew right away. They were raising their hand
Is
like
that
this.
right?
Yeah, they went crazy. So they knew.
And Todd Reardon called for the review. And man, I'll tell you, that guy makes. I don't know what he makes. He deserves to be made more.
Did we have him on the air once? I think we did, or maybe we just talked about him incessantly when he was.
He's won
winning
games.
Stanley Cups.
He's helped them win Stanley Cups. That's
Yes,
right. That's right.
I don't know what he wears to work, Ron. Maybe a flannel shirt. What if they just raised that to the rafters? Saucier's shirt.
You don't have another flannel. When are you going to? Is that looks new though?
It is. First day wearing it. I was going to bring it up a little later.
You feel comfortable in it?
Very different. Comfortable's a good word. This is my mature man shirt. I could host a cocktail party in this shirt. I could mediate a political dispute in this shirt.
Okay.
I could tell you all about history. I could play the guitar. I could do a lot of things in this shirt.
Now, the flannel shirt was more of a manly
shirt. Yeah.
You were ready
Drive
to go
a forklift, gut a deer.
Going out and do a jackhammer or something like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Rebuild the house.
It looks very nice. You
Right.
look very handsome today. And
This is more intellectual. I could build an IKEA piece of furniture without the directions, Ron, in this shirt. And I think I will later today. You ever tried to do that?
No.
Build a dresser or something from IKEA?
I can't build anything.
It's unbelievable.
I can't follow instructions. The instructions, you got to have a rocket science degree to follow.
You look at the thing in the store. You're like, oh, this is beautiful. Let's bring this home. And then it's basically a pile of wood with screws and nuts and everything else.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What was the biggest win last night?
Let's answer that next, Ron. And I have
I'm
a
going
question
to
for
give you the choices: the Penguins, Pitt, or the Miami Dolphins. What was the biggest win in town involving Pittsburgh teams last night?
I love that question, and I'll raise you with this one. Should Mac Brown have gone for the win at the end of regulation? 412-928-9370, 928-9370. What was the biggest win for you last night? And what about the decision at the end? Got the ball on the 2-yard line. You could maybe win or lose. There was still some time left, but you probably, I would say, win or lose the game right there. Instead, they go to overtime. Of course, he couldn't have predicted that as soon as his team got the ball.
It was a monsoon.
A monsoon would have.
Man, did it start to rain, didn't it?
It was meant to be, I think.
I think so, too.
Off the Top, brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding. You can text us on the Edgar Snyder and Associates fan text line, 412-928-9370. Edgar Snyder and Associates reminds you to text responsibly. You can follow us on Twitter. I could host a wine party in this shirt, Ron.
I think you could do a lot of
things. I
things.
could mix up some whiskey sours and serve them.
You could do a lot of things in
to
that
12 guests with a 3-course dinner. I'm very mature today. Did you notice that? That's the personality I've taken on in this shirt today.
With Farmers, you could get savings just for becoming a customer. It's a little extra something. So to tell you about it, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. Precious baby giggles. When you switch to Farmers, you could save an average of $437 on your home insurance. And that's a whole lot of something, baby. Aw, get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Based on average nationwide annual savings survey data July 2020 to 21, underwritten by Farmers Trucker Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Up to 30% of U.S. military members and veterans are battling PTSD, even those who weren't injured or in combat. If you're one of the many, you should know that you don't have to suffer. Treatment for PTSD is available. If you suffer from PTSD-related depression and anxiety, you're not alone. There are so many veterans and current enlisted just like you. You don't have to suffer. Find the help and resources you need and deserve at connectingvets.com.
Man, there are a lot of podcasts out there.
Definitely. I mean, there's 3 million shows, 50 million episodes, and more every day.
I mean, who has the time to figure out which ones are the best podcasts?
We do. That's who. What's up, guys? I am Alicia Renee.
And I'm Dax Holt.
And we are your host of Pod Sauce, a podcast discovery show.
Look at us as your podcast concierge.
We do all the work for you. We listen to the shows, review them,
pick the best episodes, and interview the hosts.
Pod Sauce. Let us help you find your next binge. Tell them where to go, Dax.
Go to podsauce.com.
Welcome back to Cook and Joe. We have Ray Fittipaldo coming up at 11 to talk Steelers, Lions. In the meantime, Ron had a good question. It was really a fun night last night if you're a Pittsburgh sports fan, and I'm assuming most of you are. Doesn't seem like a stretch. What a night. You had the Penguins on horny night at the arena, Ron, winning in a shootout. Big win.
Very, very good Florida team.
And a good game. And then you had Pitt pulling one out at the end, squandered a lead, but they win it at the end in pretty dramatic fashion. And if you actually look now at their record, I mean, they're having a good season with a chance to make it a very good season. We'll see. But a pretty dramatic ending there on national television. And then you probably all turn to the Ravens game. And that really actually annoyed me at one point, Ron. Brian Flores, late in the game, they're up 15-3 with the ball in Ravens territory around the 40. 7 minutes left, 4th and 1, and he punted. And it went to the 1 yard line, which had Joe Buck and Troy Aikman celebrating and saying, what a great call. I said, no, it wasn't. You just gave the ball back to Lamar. You're the Dolphins. You're whatever they were, 1-7, 2-something. Go for it. Sure enough, he goes 99 yards. He went 99 yards.
I don't care. That still made it 15-10.
Right.
I don't care. You punt in that situation. If you've held them to 3 points for 3.5 quarters, I'm trusting my defense and not giving them a short field.
It's the Dolphins' defense.
I don't care.
Have you watched the Ravens at all this year? That's what they do. And they almost did it again.
Yeah, I don't care. I punt there. I'm okay with it.
99 yards.
I punt there. I'm okay.
It's the Dolphins. They're 2-something. What do they have to lose?
Well, now they got 3. Now I'm reading stories. They may end up back in the playoff chase. Because
well, they might actually. If you look at their schedule, they got the Jets twice coming up. They could with that third wild card. But your question was, which was the biggest win? What would you say?
Well, I'm going to eliminate the Penguins because it's 1 of 82. It's November. There's a lot of hockey left. They desperately needed it. They need wins and points now to hang in there until Crosby comes back, Malkin comes back, Dumoulin. But it's 1 of 82. So it comes down to Pitt for me or the Ravens losing. And I think in this town, the Steelers roll. And I think this could help the Steelers maybe win the division. I don't know who the best team is in the AFC North anymore. I've just seen flaws with all of them. 1 week I think it's Cleveland, and then they look terrible. Steelers beat them there. Then we see the Steelers nearly blow leads in the second half. Almost lose to the Bears, but I guess almost losing is winning, right? The Ravens. I don't know. Cincinnati. I don't know who the best team is in the division. I thought that was a significant game for the Steelers' chances last night of winning the division.
I agree, and I don't think it's close. I mean, the Pitt game was great, but if Pitt had beaten Miami and was up to between 15 and 10 in the country, which is where they would be right now, and had about a 30 to 35% chance at the college football playoff, and they kept that alive last night, it would have been an easy call for Pitt. But they already squandered that chance, and even if they lose last night, they're still going to have a great shot to win the Coastal and go to that bowl game and all that, a nice bowl game. I just feel like the landscape in the AFC North changed in a big way with that one.
Absolutely. I mean, I picked Miami. I took the points. I thought Baltimore would win, but I didn't think they would cover. But I did not have any idea they would look as bad as they did offensively and score 10 points. With Lamar Jackson, with that offense, but it's the NFL, Joe. You expect the unexpected. And, boy, that was unexpected for me last night. But now, if the Steelers win, do I have this right? If they win Sunday, they're tied for first place, right?
That's right. Both Ravens and Steelers will be a game ahead of the Bungles and the Browns. And, man, the Ravens, they had a chance to give themselves a little cushion. But they really are like last year's Steelers. They really are. Their record did not indicate who they were. And, in fact, if you mind it a little bit, you would see major flaws. Defensively, they got problems. They really do. It's not the same defense. And then it's basically, it's Lamar by himself trying to get things done as their leading rusher and their leading passer all the time. How long can that last? And now they've lost 2 of 3, blown out by the Bengals, and they lose by 12 to Miami. They beat Minnesota in overtime, and now they go into Chicago. Who knows what happens there?
Who's the best team in the AFC North?
I think it might be the Browns. at this
Back
point.
again?
Yes.
Again. Yeah, after their Mayfield, he got it done last week, in Cincinnati. I'll give him credit after that week of turmoil. He got it done. They may be the best team. I don't know. Maybe it's the Steelers. Maybe it's still the Bengals. We'll find out.
Maybe it'll be the Ravens.
It could be. It's just so wide open now. And now I'm wondering, will a team win that division with 9 wins maybe? Maybe 9-8 will win that division. You know that?
Could. Absolutely could. Listen to this.
10-7 may win that division for sure.
You think the Steelers' schedule's bad? Listen to the Ravens, and they just went through. This is the stretch they were supposed to give themselves a cushion. So they go into Chicago. Who knows what happens there? But that is the easiest game left on their schedule. Listen to it after that. Browns, at Steelers, at Browns, Packers, at Bengals, Rams, Steelers.
Wow.
How about that?
That's a murderer's row.
I don't know if, they have 6 now, 7, 8, 9. They're going to wind up, everyone's going to wind up, you're right, I think 10 wins it. I think 10 is the magic number.
9 and 8 may win it based on tiebreakers. There may be 2 teams finish 9 and 8, and one of them will win. It's incredible. It's just incredible. You mentioned the Rams. How about OBJ going to the Rams? Are they now a super team, in your opinion? Is he going to push them over the top? He goes there. Von Miller's there now. Man, they're going for it, aren't they?
This is like, the Lakers or the Miami Heat. This is an all-star team, and credit to them for this. They're playing to the Hollywood crowd.
Yep.
That's what they're supposed to do out there, and they're going for it. And I always respect a team that does that. Will it work? Did you hear Horse in there? What just happened?
Was that him yelling or not?
Yes, that was Horse yelling.
I heard it
in
through
there.
heard it through the glass.
This is unbelievable, Ron.
Did he win the lottery or what?
Horse, did you win the lottery?
He's on the phone still.
This is incredible. Horse, what just happened? Did you win the lottery? Oh, wow.
Oh, that was not a
yell.
happy yell. That was a mean yell.
Look at Horse back there. If only the camera could capture him, Ron.
I heard that scream.
So did I. It was blood-curdling, but it seemed fun.
I thought he won the lottery. Was just told that, or maybe he was given a lifetime contract to work here. Maybe that's what had him excited.
Maybe he was told that Von Miller's coming back.
He's ignoring us.
All right. What were we saying? Oh.
About the AFC North being ridiculously wide open.
Not positive about Pitt enough. What does he want us to say about Pitt? They won a huge game in overtime dramatically, and we just put it on the table as what was the biggest game of the night last night. It was a fantastic win. What are we talking about here, Ron?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the Steelers own this town, let's face it, and that was a big win to help them in their playoff chase last night.
It was a great win for Pitt, and
I eliminated the Penguins from the conversation.
And Pitt squandered its chance for a dream season by losing at home to Miami. That's also true.
And Western Michigan.
And if you have a balanced look at the game last night, they did blow a 23-7 lead and had to scrape by in overtime. So it's a really good win, and they still have at least the ACC title in front of them, but they squandered a dream season by losing at home to Miami and giving up 31 first-half points. They bounced back last night, and they scraped by, and good for them.
How did Pickett play in your mind?
Okay. I think he struggled with in the rain with the gloves on, to be honest with you.
Except that big throw in overtime, man.
That was big.
Perfect throw to the tight end. I got home in time to see almost the last quarter. I was at the hockey game, and his interception was a bad one. He threw it behind the running back.
Yeah, and then he almost got picked on the next series.
Yes. But, man, at the end, in the overtime, when he needed to make the throw, was perfect.
It was. I think he was fortunate to be in that position to make that throw, but when he was presented with that opportunity, he drilled it. But overall, I think he would probably be the first to tell you he didn't have a great game, and neither did Howell, by the way.
Neither did Howell.
He was under duress. I mean, the unit that gets the MVP award in that game is the Pitt defense.
And I've been ridiculing them all season. I mean, and they rose up last night and obviously won them the game.
They did. I mean, even when North Carolina would get down inside the 5, it was like pulling teeth to try to get over the goal line, and they couldn't at the end. But that brings us to the next decision. our friend Mac Brown at the end, they have a chance at the Pitt 2-yard line after that ridiculous catch by that guy. 4th down, do you go for the win there or do you play for overtime?
I play for overtime.
I go for
their defense had totally shut Pitt down in the second half. Just totally shut them down. Pitt didn't score in the second half, right? I'm going to trust my defense and make sure I give myself a chance in overtime. The ball was at the 2 or 3, maybe, I guess. I thought they were going to score on that drive anyway. They had a first down at like the 2, and then they had a holding penalty and a false start and a bad snap.
Yeah.
I mean, they just self-destructed, and I just think I probably would have kicked and then took my chances in overtime. And, we talk about Pickett making that throw. He also had a run on 3rd down to get him the first down on the play before, which was a big play too. I mean, Pickett can make big plays when he has to make them, and he did last night.
Well, again, I go to where is your team? Like, what is North Carolina playing for here, right? They're 3-4 now, 5-5 overall. And then to me, you get it down that far. And to me, it's 50-50 in overtime, no matter what. It's a 50-50 proposition.
That's fair.
Compared to just going for the win with a lousy team. And God, is that team bad. They really are bad, a disorganized mess. They had 13 people on defense on one play. They had 1 million penalties. Their offense did nothing, and give credit to Pitt for destroying their offensive line. I would have gone for it there. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Another game if you're North Carolina? I would have gone for it, but I understand.
If Pitt had been up and down
points.
If Pitt had been up and down the field in the second half, I would agree with you. But they weren't. You got to figure, okay, we'll stop them in overtime and score. They had a chance to. 3rd down, Pickett converts it by running, and then a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pass for the touchdown.
And he couldn't have predicted that a monsoon would develop as soon as his team got the ball, the second they got
it. But then even then, though, the pressure that Howell faced, the defense got after him. I mean, I'll give him credit for that, man.
Just give me your best play at the 2.5-yard line. Give me your best play, and let's try to win this thing. That's what I would have been thinking if I was him. They're a disaster this season. One of the most disappointing teams I can think of. So Pitt improves to 8-2 overall, 5-1 in the conference. They haven't been 8-2 in their first 10, I don't think, since 2009 under Wani. I think I read that in their notes today.
They finished 10-3 that year.
Yeah, this is their best record through 10 games since 2009.
Now you have Virginia at home next week. That could be another. Although that 73 points last night. You knew pretty early it wasn't going to go over that, wasn't it? I mean, they just weren't. Pitt just didn't.
I started to wonder in overtime what might happen, because if they tie it up at 30, then you're up to 60. So all you need is 2 more, each team to score another touchdown, and you have it.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, they didn't deserve to go for the over. That game was way, way under for all night.
So now, who knows? Virginia has a great quarterback. What's his name? Armstrong. He's coming to town next week. It'll be at home for Pitt. And then they go to Syracuse, which is never an easy place to play. And then hopefully on December 4th, they'll be in Charlotte for the ACC title game if they win these next 2.
Need to be. And by the way, this is where they should be. They should be actually 9-1 right now. This is where they should be. So I hate to be under-optimistic Pitt guy.
10-0?
Yeah.
They lose to Western Michigan.
Right.
And they could have beat Miami.
So you look at the beginning. You wrote at the beginning of the season, this is a team that should win 10 games.
I did.
They should when you're playing UMass, Western Michigan, New Hampshire, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, an unranked Clemson team, Miami, Duke, and North Carolina, and you think you're good. They should at least be as good as they are and probably better. And Tennessee. And by the way, that Tennessee win looks better now than it did then. I will say that. To go into Tennessee and win now looks to me like a pretty impressive win. Tennessee has beaten ranked teams. They've hung with ranked teams. There was a touchdown to Alabama with 10 minutes left, so that's a pretty good win. But this is where Pitt should be.
Right. I wrote that 10 wins. I said they could win 10 games, and people laughed at me. They said, you're ridiculous. Pitt never wins 10 games. Well,
right.
If they don't win 10 now, it'll be a massive disappointment.
Then they yelled at you for being over-optimistic. Now we're underappreciative of them being 8-2.
I know. You can't win. That's all right.
They should actually be at least 9-1 right now, given their
I think
schedule.
the encouraging thing for them last night is the defense got better, which has been so awful for quite a while.
It was a smashing defensive performance. It was
literally
because
smashing.
The offense didn't help them a lot in the second half. They held to a field goal there at the end when they easily could have lost the game. And then in the first half, what was it? 6 straight possessions they sent North Carolina.
I think the yards at one point were like 200 to 12 or something.
It was unreal.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
right?
they just physically smashed them, and good for them. That's a really good performance against a team that has explosive capabilities, and they stifled them. So good for them, and now finish the job. Coming up, Ron, let's get back to the NFL and the AFC North and who's the favorite. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that, 412-928-9370, because it's getting more interesting by the week. I'll go over the schedules, too, for the Bengals and the Browns, and we can really take a fine-tooth comb to that.
Farmers Policy perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. Another me. And when you have multiple Farmers policies, you could save up to 45% on your auto insurance with the Auto Multi-Policy discount. What's going on with our voice? I thought I'd add some drama. Well, isn't that something? Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges, Farmers New World Life Insurance Company or affiliate.
In 1987, a former prosecutor named Margaret Kuhn took her dog for a walk in one of Louisiana's safest and most affluent parishes. The next morning, she was found dead on the side of the road. 34 years later, the crime remains unsolved.
No one is safe.
Listen to Gone South, Season 1, Who Killed Margaret Kuhn? A documentary podcast from C13 Originals. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
New this week on Curiosity Stream, it's the larger-than-life NFL icon Joe Namath, who took the league by storm.
Broadway Joe. Sports Illustrated had me standing on Broadway in the jet uniform.
In Beyond the Spotlight. And underground tunnels, brilliant disguises, and air balloons? See daring breakouts from behind the Berlin Wall with never-before-seen archival footage in the Great Berlin Escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are just $20. Visit curiositystream.com.
Ron, let's go to a nice man named Bill. Go ahead, Bill. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's up?
Hey, I was at the game last night at the Pitt game, and was very, very interesting because I kept looking at my wife saying, we need points, we need points, we need points. And, of course, the missed extra point is what cost them again. Naturally, they would have won the game in regulation if they would have had that extra point. But it was a great win for Pitt, but
it had that feel to it. It had that feel to it, didn't it? I mean, it would have been pitting. It would have been the classic Pitt loss, and they found a way to avoid it. It was all adding up to that. I would imagine every Pitt fan out there felt it like, oh, my God, here we go again. We've blown a 23-7 lead. The guy missed an extra point, and they're going to win it at the end. Right? Isn't that the way it felt?
It did feel that way, and especially whenever you think, oh, no, tip ball, interception here, and here we go again. And that's exactly what happened. And just everybody could just feel the air go out of the stadium. But I give them credit. You're right, Mac Brown, I don't know why he didn't go for the win. I think they should have went for the win. They had nothing to lose, really.
Well, credit Pitt for sort of reversing karma, and it felt right at the end. What did you think when it went from a light rain to a heavier rain to a monsoon there, right when North Carolina got the ball?
Well, I got to be honest with you. As soon as the rain started to fall and they were on the 2-yard line, we were up and out of the stadium.
Ron, what do you make of this? This guy took off on the Panthers.
He wasn't going to get wet.
I have really bad joints, and if I would have been walking in that rain, I would have been totally drenched.
So you heard it on the fan? You heard the end of the game, or what?
Yes, we did. And then I had it DVR'd, and we got home. We watched it, and then I actually got to see the end of the Baltimore Raven game. So,
well, that was a treat at the end of the night.
I couldn't believe it.
Thank you for your call. I got a little Mac Brown update here for you. He blamed his assistants, it sounds like.
Did he? What'd he say?
Quote, I should have gone for the 4th and 3 because the way it ended up, the rain was really hard and put us in an awful position in overtime. You're on the road. The reason I didn't do it, I got talked out of it. But also we hadn't made 4th and 3 or 4th and 2. But still looking back, I would have been better off going for the 4th down at that point. He must have said, I want to go for it, and his assistant said, don't, and he listened to the assistants. You know what? He's still got to take the responsibility.
Oh, I don't know that I've ever heard a head coach when it goes wrong say that. Have you?
No.
You're the head coach. What do you mean he got talked out of it?
I got talked out of it.
That's unbelievable to me that a guy would admit that on the record.
Especially a guy like him who's
and
been
throw his
around
assist, yes.
for 100 years, I mean.
And throw his assistants under the bus. It's your call. Oh, wow. And then did you see where Narduzzi said
they were going to talk about letting them score?
Yes.
I'm reading that. There was talk about letting them score, and we would go down and score. I was like, I can't do that. We're going to stop them here. Here.
What would you have thought of that decision? To me, not much, because North Carolina...
Well, you would have needed a touchdown, not a field goal, because it was 23-20. If you let them score, it's 27-23.
Right.
Now you got to get a touchdown. A field goal, maybe I'd think about it, the way they were driving. I mean, they had a first down at the 2-yard line, and then the penalty and the bad snap killed them.
But you can't control when they kick a field goal.
No.
You can let them score a touchdown, though.
Right.
I wouldn't have done it for that reason, and because Pitt had just made it really hard on them inside the 5 right before that. And North Carolina was committing penalties left and right, and it felt like every good play they had, you just were waiting for something bad to come right after it.
That left tackle had a holding penalty that wiped out a long run, and then he had a false start at the 3-yard line.
Good for Narduzzi.
Just terrible.
Good for him to not let that happen.
Yep.
And bad for the other guy.
Max said, I let him talk me out of it.
Talk me out of it. That's incredible. Who's on the line here, Horse? What's up, Jay?
Hey, guys, that was a great Pitt game last night. The only problem I had throughout the whole game really is it was 4th and 2 right before the half. And I'm not saying that they should have done anything different because, you know, of course, we heard all the scouts were there last night looking at Kenny Pickett. But it's 4th and 2 right before the half. And their quarterback's out there, and they probably could have ran a bootleg or done some kind of short pass. And they end up trying to kick a field goal, which doesn't work, and then that gave North Carolina the ball back. And like I said, not condoning, hey, all the scouts are there, and let's help Kenny Pickett's draft status and make him look good. But still, 4th and 2, and you've got him on the field, and you do that. I'll hang up and listen.
Well, I'll say this. First, I hear what you're saying, and then secondly, I like trick plays as much as the next guy. I like whatever they called it a couple of years ago. Was it the UCF game, the Philly special, Pitt version?
That was an unbelievable play to beat a very good Central Florida team.
But Pickett was red hot early in this game, Ron, and they tried another. Who threw the pass? A wide receiver pass when they're driving, like the Krull play from the 2 weeks earlier.
From the Miami game, right?
Stop doing that when you have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
Put the ball in his hands. Right.
You know?
I'm with you.
It was a good throw, by the way. I wish I could remember who threw it. But still, I'm not signing up for that when my Heisman Trophy guy is red hot. It's too much. All right, Ron. We have Ray Fittipaldo at the top of the hour. Let's talk a little Steelers-Lions, the way the NFL is going. The Lions look like a threat coming in here.
I want to ask Ray who he thinks the best team is in the AFC North.
Mostly.
And does the AFC have a good team?
Hello, I'm Jason Concepcion, former co-host of Binge Mode Ravenclaw with Gryffindor Rising, still repping the Night's Watch despite Season 8, and the host of Crooked Media's new podcast, X-Ray Vision. Every week, my guests and I will take you through the world of comic book movies, fantasy shows, and more. Join us as we deep dive into your favorite franchises, discuss fan theories, and the latest news. Listen now for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. A backup singer.
Ooh, singer.
When you have the Farmer's Signal app with Crash Assist, if you have an auto accident,
we can send help if you want it.
Wow, that sounds like a whole lot of something. Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies, subject to terms and conditions, underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
I'm Shayna.
And I'm Tracy, and we're the hosts of Band of Mothers podcasts. We're a little Wait, Don't Tell Me meets This American Life meets Thelma and Louise.
I can't wait to drive off a cliff with you.
You've been saying that since the 8th grade.
Each week, we feature real stories from moms just like you. Plus, we've got live performances, in-studio interviews, games, original music, and more.
So join our Band of Mothers and subscribe now on the Odyssey app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
It's the Band of Mothers podcast.